unknown and mysterious creatures. The vampire. We're all familiar with the story of Count Dracula. It's a legend that goes back centuries. A blood-sucking human that lives forever, roaming the night in search of victims. Movies even romanticize the idea of immortal beings, casting handsome actors to portray these evil monsters, even making them desirable on some level. But what exactly are vampires, and where do these mysterious stories of immortal beings come from? Join us for another edition of Unknown and Mysterious Creatures as we take a hard look at the vampire. Thank you for listening to Unknown and Mysterious Creatures. Please consider subscribing to our channel and sharing these fascinating and even terrifying stories with others. It helps our channel grow, and we certainly appreciate your support. Stories of strange spirits consuming human blood can be traced back over a millennia. The ancient Greeks, Hebrews, and even the Romans told stories about beings that hunted down people and drank their blood. They didn't call them vampires. They referred to them as demons. But today, we envision vampires to be attractive people that lure unsuspecting victims into places where they are vulnerable and puncture their jugular veins, drinking their blood as though it was going through a straw. In ancient times, however, people thought evil spirits, or even the devil himself, would take possession of a corpse in order to consume human blood and even human flesh. In fact, the very term devil was considered synonymous with what we consider a vampire in today's terminology. It wasn't until the 18th century in the region of Transylvania, Romania, when the term vampire was coined. But what exactly is a vampire, and are they real? Most people believe vampires are not real. So why, after so much time, does the fascination with these terrifying entities persist? One clue may be in the motive for the telling of such stories in the first place. Like many monsters of lore, children were warned to not venture into the night because evil, horrid creatures lurked about in the dark, waiting for something like a small child to eviscerate and eat alive. Though crude, this tactic was quite effective. But what really lurked in the dark? Why would parents warn children to not venture into the night? Clearly, some danger hides in the dark of night. But are the real vampires of the world like those described in books and in movies? In Bram Stoker's Dracula, the character Vlad the Impaler was named after a real person. Vlad Dracul ruled Wallachia, Romania in the mid-1400s. He was an especially brutal ruler and earned his name the Impaler because his preferred method of killing his subjects was by impaling them. What made him more grotesque was he was said to dine among the dying and even dipped his bread in their blood. If the idea of drinking blood is repulsive to you, you might be horrified to learn thousands of people partake in the consumption of human blood on a daily basis. In an article published in the BBC, a researcher from Louisiana State University named John Edgar Browning enlisted himself in something called a feeding in the French Quarter of New Orleans in 2015. This was not a religious ritual or some novel cosplay involving sharp objects and real blood. Browning had entered a dark world of people who claimed to suffer from a medical condition which they believe can only be treated by drinking another person's blood. Browning said, and I quote, "There are thousands of people doing this in just the US alone, and I don't think it's a fad," end quote. Their symptoms and behavior are a genuine mystery, and this idea of consuming human blood for medical purposes is nothing new. At the end of the 15th century, the physician of Pope Innocent VIII bled 3 young men to death and fed their blood to the Pope in hopes their youthful vitality would be passed along to him, and their blood was said to still be warm when it was consumed. It is said a drug called adrenochrome can be harvested in larger quantities from children, which produces a psychedelic euphoria and is believed to extend someone's natural life. Many in the mainstream media dismiss this notion, especially since it is believed the rich and famous engage in the practice of children's sacrifice in order to obtain the adrenochrome. Might this practice be the real source of vampires? Perhaps the monsters lurking in the dark of night, looking to snatch up little children, were real after all. What do you think? It is apparent from researchers there are people in this world who partake in acts of vampirism with real subjects and drink real human blood. So, are vampires real or not? There are those in the mainstream media that laugh at the idea of vampires being real, but the stories and rumors and evidence is there. People all around the world claim to be vampires and believe they suffer from ailments that can only be remedied with fresh, warm human blood. Tell us what you think. Leave us a comment and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you for listening. Until next time, be sure to be on the lookout for more unknown and mysterious creatures.
New Kingdom Radio Theatre.